You built you. You run you. Be the CEO of you. This is C.You.O. You run you. Born to build, raised to run, made to
Because if
lead.
you don't do it, who's going to do it?
This is C.You.O. Welcome back to C.You.O. Let's go. Let's grow.
Trust is strategy. Welcome back to C.You.O, where we learn to lead ourselves at a higher level and become the CEO of our own lives. Trust is one of the most expensive forces in life. When trust is placed wisely, doors open faster than talent alone can open them. When trust is placed poorly, people lose peace, time, money, opportunities, relationships, and momentum. Some of the greatest pain people carry did not come from failure. It came from trusting the wrong person. Some of the greatest success people experience did not come from luck. It came from being trusted. That is why in C.You.O, I don't treat trust emotionally. We treat trust strategically. Most people live at one of two extremes. They trust too fast. They hand access to anyone who sounds good, looks polished, says the right things, or gives temporary comfort. Then they wonder why disappointment keeps repeating itself. Or they trust no one. They become guarded, cynical, unavailable, closed off from healthy relationships, collaboration, support, and growth. Both extremes create loss. Blind trust creates chaos. No trust creates isolation. The answer is not fear. The answer is discernment. That is C.You.O thinking. Discernment means learning how to evaluate patterns, behavior, responsibility, pressure response, and character. Because words can perform, patterns reveal the truth. I don't trust easily. That is not insecurity. That is standards. If I need help from someone, support from someone, or I must rely on them in a meaningful way, I ask myself questions about them to get evidence. Have they helped me before? That's how I see if they have a reputation. Have they shown consistency? That's how I see if they're reliable. Is this the first time I'm depending on them? Do we have a historical relationship? Do I have evidence? Is this a small ask or is this high stakes? What is it going to cost me if they fail? Have they handled responsibility well before? What's their track record? Leaders think like this. They do not hand important roles to untested people. They do not confuse chemistry with character. They do not confuse charisma with capacity. And they do not confuse words with weight. Trust is a credit score. Every action someone takes either builds trust credit or lowers it. Showing up on time, following through, being honest, owning mistakes, protecting confidence. That raises the score. And when I think about protecting confidence, that's a big one, because if you overlook that one, I'm not telling you to see how they protect their own confidence. I'm telling you, see how they protect your confidence. All of these things raise the score. But excuses, disappearing, half truths, carelessness, repeated inconsistency, that lowers it. And many people give premium access to people with bad trust credit. A C.You.O leader does not do that. They verify before they elevate. Trust usually gets damaged in two ways: slowly or suddenly. Sometimes it crumbles like a crumbling rock. Late responses, broken little promises, dismissive tone, repeated carelessness, small moments of disrespect. Nothing dramatic, just those crumbs. But over time, the structure weakens. Then there are chunks, the big ones: a betrayal, a lie, failure during a critical moment, public disrespect, broken confidence. One strike, big chunks, heavy damage. Trust is a foundation wall. A building can weaken from tiny cracks ignored for years. Or it can be one big violent impact can collapse the whole building instantly. Same wall, different timeline. Wise people do not wait for collapse before acknowledging damage. That is how C.You.O leadership is. Protecting peace early. Now let's talk about trust most people ignore. And I got a serious question for you. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust your judgment? Do you trust your instinct? Do you trust yourself to recover if someone disappoints you? Do you trust yourself to walk away when standards are violated? Do you trust yourself to rebuild if life changes suddenly? Many people obsess over whether others can be trusted while lacking trust in themselves. Could you imagine that? You don't trust everybody else because you don't trust yourself to do the right thing? That creates desperation. Because when you do not trust yourself, you need everyone else to be perfect. And nobody is perfect. But when you trust yourself, disappointment becomes survivable. Because even if someone fails you, you know you will not fail you. And that's what it's really about. Self-trust is internal wealth. People with reserves do not panic during temporary losses. They know they can recover. Self-trust works the same way. When someone lets you down, you feel it, but you do not collapse. You already invested in yourself. That is real C.You.O energy. One of the biggest mistakes people make with trust is believing trust means permanence. Just because someone had access in one season of your life does not mean they deserve access forever. You do not have to give someone a full ride in your life up front. That truth is difficult for people because sometimes we confuse history with qualification. We say, they've known me forever. I've known them forever. We've been through so much. I've always trusted them. But time alone does not equal alignment. Sometimes people were assigned to an earlier version of you. The survival version, the distracted version, the insecure version, the version still tolerating things beneath your standards. But when you grow, when you become more disciplined, more focused, more accountable, more intentional, the relationship starts experiencing friction. Not because you became arrogant, because your standards changed. And everybody does not grow at the same pace. That is one of the hardest leadership lessons in life. Some people only fit the old version of you, not the elevated version of you. And if you are not careful, loyalty to history can become disloyalty to your future. That is why discernment matters. Think of it this way. Trust is like a key card access in a high level building. Everybody cannot enter every room. Some people just can't get to the presidential suite or the top floor. Some people can't access the lobby. Some can access a meeting room or a boardroom. Some can access executive floors. And some lose access completely. Not because the building hates them, but because access is tied to responsibility. Your life should work the same way. Everybody should not have unlimited access to your mind, let alone your peace or your emotions or your goals or your energy or your future. C.You.O leaders understand something powerful. Access is earned and access is maintained, not demanded. High level people are not gullible, but they are also not bitter. They are discerning. They know everyone gets respect. Not everyone gets access. Trust grows gradually. Trust can shrink quickly. Standards protect peace. Boundaries protect value. Self-trust reduces fear. Discernment protects momentum. When you master trust, you stop begging life to feel safe. You become strong enough to handle what is unsafe. That changes how you walk, how you choose, how you speak, and how you lead. That is the C.You.O identity. You become the executive of your own standards. So this week, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do an audit of the trust around your life. Not emotionally, strategically. Ask yourself, who consistently shows integrity? Who drains momentum? Who only appears during convenience and the convenience of your life? Who has actually earned access? Where have I ignored patterns because I wanted comfort? Where have I betrayed my own instincts? And most important, this is going to be the most important question you ask yourself. Can you trust you? And if you struggle with that, you've done it before. Because the quality of your future will be shaped by what and who you continue allowing near your life. If this episode challenged you, send it to someone. Maybe they need to hear it. And if you are building your standards, your discipline, your mindset, and your leadership with us every single week, follow C.You.O and grow with us. Welcome back to leadership. Welcome back to ownership. And as always, I'll see you next time in the boardroom. Thank you for tuning in to the C.You.O podcast, a safe space for you to focus on you. Don't forget to subscribe, join the email list, and follow us on social media for daily encouragement. Remember, showing up for yourself first is the most powerful way to show up for others. Until next time, keep leading, keep growing, and keep choosing you.